Hello and welcome to this tutorial, and in this tutorial we'll be learning how we could create our own AVD, which is Android Virtual Device. So in order to create your own AVD or Android virtual device, you just simply go on this icon, which is nothing but the AVD manager, which manages all of your Android virtual device. So we simply click on it, and as you could see, we have two virtual devices with us right now. Now the first device is nothing but the copy of Nexus, which I've already created, and the next device is the Nexus 5. Now in this tutorial we are going to create a new device, and in order to create a new device, what we are going to do is that instead of just editing one of these devices, we are going to create a copy of one of these device. So in order to create a new device, you simply go on create virtual device, and in this we are going to select some device. So let's use Nexus 5 because it suits our requirement. So we select this option right over here. Now you could select any of the devices right over here, but for the purpose of this tutorial, I am going to go with Nexus 5, and instead of just clicking on next, I am going to click on this clone device button, and that is because it is going to clone the device for us so that we don't mess up with the settings of the original device. So for example, the original device has a RAM of 1.5 GB, but the thing is that we have allocated the maximum RAM size to be 1024 MB. So the thing is that we want to modify this. So in order to do that, we simply go ahead here and we just make it 1000 MB. So that is going to allocate 1000 MB or 1 GB of RAM for us. Now 1 GB is exactly 1024, so we are going to go with slightly less or approximately equal number, and that is because we have only allocated a space or size of just 1 GB to our AVD. Now once this is set, we go ahead and click on OK, then click next, and we also want to select the Android version. So now we are going to select the latest version of Android, which is Marshmallow. So we click next, and now we want to name our device. Let's say we create a new device, and let's name it as My Android. So this is our new device. Then we simply click finish. Now as you could see, we have successfully created our own device, which is called as My Android, and it has 650 MB of memory. Now in order to launch this AVD and emulator, we click this button. So it is going to start the emulator for us, and we could see our device up and running. So if you create a new AVD, it is going to take up some time, and that is because it has to just duplicate the running of the Nexus 5 device from scratch. So as you could see, our emulator has started and our phone is booting up. So as you could see, this is the name of our device, which is My Android. Now if you want this emulator to run a bit faster, then the thing which you could do is that you could allocate more memory to this device. So for example, if you have a RAM of 8 GB, then you could easily allocate a RAM of 2 GB to this emulator so that it could boot up faster as compared to just giving it a RAM of 650 MB or 1 GB. Now as you could see, our device has started, and our device itself is going to take a bit longer to boot up, and as you could see, our device has booted up. And as we have created this device from scratch, it is going to basically emulate like starting a new phone. When you buy a new phone, it is going to behave as if you have bought a new phone. So we just unlock it, and as you could see, it is going to welcome us. And this phone is pretty much like your basic Android phone, wherein you could have a set of applications. Now the interesting thing about this phone is that you could even use the browser to surf the internet. So for example, if you open up the browser and if you want to go to Google, it is going to load up Google for you, and you could pretty much use this browser as you use it in the phone. So if you want to search something, you could just go ahead and search anything. So for example, if you want to search Android Studio, it is going to show you the results with Android Studio, and you could use it like your basic phone. So basically, this is how you create your own Android virtual device by using the Android AVD manager. And the main purpose of learning this is because when you develop your own application, so you want your application to be tested on each and every device, so as to make sure that your application runs smoothly on every device. So that's why you create a basic virtual device so that you could test your app onto it. So that's it for this tutorial, and I hope you guys understood how you could use the Android AVD in order to create your own Android virtual device, such as this phone which we have created, which is My Android. And you could pretty much also allocate some memory or the RAM to it so as to make it run more faster. So make sure that you choose a proper RAM depending upon your configuration. So for example, if you have a 4 GB of RAM. You could allocate 1 GB to the emulator. Now if you have a higher RAM like 8 GB or 16 GB, then you could go with 2, 3 or 4 gigs of RAM. So thank you very much for watching this tutorial, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Thank you.